Hello everyone, welcome to Lovoria Network, I'm so glad you're here. Tonight I want to share a story that still makes my heart race and brings back that hollow ache in my chest. It was a regular family dinner, or so I thought. My mom, the woman who raised me, said the words I never imagined, "You're not my real daughter." And then she asked me to leave. I left without a word. There was a moment in the kitchen when the light seemed to change. I remember the hum of conversation as I sat at the dinner table, thinking this was just another Thursday night. My younger brother was joking about school, my dad was nodding along, and I had a plate of spaghetti in front of me. Mom came in with her usual smile and made a passing comment about how we were all together. I felt safe. I felt normal. Then out of nowhere she said it. With a tone I'd never heard, she looked straight at me and said, "You're not my real daughter." My fork paused in midair, the world seemed to tilt, and I heard my own breath echo in my ears. I looked up and saw confusion, maybe shock, in my father's eyes. My brother's face went blank. The laughter died. Silence filled the room. In that silence, everything changed. The warm glow of the dining room light felt cold. The sound of a passing car outside seemed loud. I felt the chair I was sitting on become too heavy. My mom repeated it, "I kicked you out of this house." I didn't speak. I didn't cry. I just stood up, held my plate, and walked out. I left without a word because I couldn't believe what had happened. My mind raced, was this a joke? A misunderstanding? My heart hurt so badly that I thought I might collapse. I carried my plate to the kitchen sink, dumped the food, put down the cutlery, and walked to the front door. The weight of all the years I'd believed in home, in love, in belonging, pressed on me all at once. Outside, the air was cool and the evening was quiet. I realized I had nowhere to go. My car was parked, but I didn't want to drive. I didn't want to face the street lights or people I might meet. I just wanted to vanish. I walked to the old bench by the park near my house, sat down, and tried to breathe. I tried to make sense of what just happened. Memories flashed, when I was 5 and Mom held my hand coming home from preschool, when I was 10 and she packed my lunch for that school trip, when I was 13 and she told me I could be anything I wanted. All those sweet moments, suddenly uncertain. If she never thought I was truly her daughter, what did that make me? I sat on that bench until darkness fell. My phone buzzed, but I ignored it. Mom's calls, Dad's texts, my brothers asking if I was okay. I didn't respond. I couldn't. The hurt had turned into a kind of numbness. I felt the betrayal not just of that moment, but of every time I trusted that I belonged. Later, I found myself driving aimlessly, windows down, letting the wind blow through my hair. I didn't have a destination. I didn't plan to go far. I just needed to move away from the house where I once felt safe. The radio played songs I love, but somehow they made me cry more. The lines about love and family, they haunted me now. I pulled over and parked by the river. I sat there for hours, watching the water ripple, reflecting what my life felt like, broken and flowing, uncertain but still moving. I asked myself, who am I? If the person I trusted the most told me I didn't belong, then what defines me? Blood? Years? Memories? In the days that followed, my world shifted. I didn't go back to the house. I stayed with friends, used their couch, and let silence fill the gaps. My dad tried to reach out. He left a note, "I don't know what happened, but I love you." My mom's messages came later, awkward, cold. I read them but didn't answer. I needed time. Through it all, one thing grew inside me, resolve. I realized I had two choices, let this moment define me, destroy me, or use it to learn something about myself. So I began to talk to friends, to a therapist quietly, to write in my journal. I asked the hard questions, what do I want from a family? What does home mean to me? Slowly, I learned something important, belonging isn't always about what people say you are, sometimes it's about what you believe you are. I decided I would not let one dinner erase my childhood, erase the love I thought existed. I would rebuild, not from their definition, but from mine. I found comfort in small things, cooking a meal for myself, going back to the park bench and sitting there with a hot coffee, telling myself I was safe. I started making plans. Maybe I would travel, maybe I would look for a place to call my own. I discovered that sometimes you leave not because you hate where you are, but because you finally believe you deserve better. One evening I returned to the house. My dad invited me to dinner again. I hesitated. The memory of those words still bit. I walked up the steps, looked at the door, and felt fear. But I rang the bell anyway. I wanted to speak, to ask questions, to see if anything changed. My mom opened the door. I said, "I came back because I'm still your daughter, if you'll let me be." She paused. She looked at me with tears. She said, "I said those words out of anger. I'm sorry." The room didn't feel safe yet, but in that moment I felt a shift. I felt the faint possibility of healing. Today I share this story with you because I know many of you watching have felt invisible, unchosen, unwelcome even where you belonged. I want you to know you are seen. You are real. Your pain is valid. The words someone spoke at the dinner table do not decide your worth. If you're sitting somewhere after a family event, feeling the same shock, the same ache, know this: you have the power to decide what you belong to, not someone else. You can choose love for yourself, you can build your own home in your heart, you can say, "I am enough." So tonight I ask you, take a breath. Remember that you are real. You deserve kindness, respect, and a place where you feel safe. And when someone says you're not theirs, that does not mean you're not lovable, that does not mean you're not chosen. If this story touched you, if you've been in this place or know someone who has, please reach out in the comments. Share your story, you're not alone. If you liked this video and it hit a chord in you, please hit like, subscribe, and share this on your social feed. You never know who needs to hear this. Thank you for being here, for listening with an open heart. I'm honored to have you. Until next time on Lovoria Network, take care of yourself. You matter.